My name is Malcolm Hill. I've been a member of ACM ever since the referendum. In fact, a little bit before the referendum started. So I've been around for a while. A couple of points about COVID. We're ready to knock the politicians, but I remember when COVID first came in and we closed our borders, there was a lot of objection from people saying we've closed too early. And I remember the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, Mark Rutte, saying that in Holland and the Netherlands, they're going to build up a herd immunity. Well, the Netherlands has got a bit over 17 million people in it. They've had over 500,000 cases of COVID, and I'm not sure that those figures are entirely accurate. I think they might be a bit higher. And they've had over 9,000 deaths in quite a small country. Switzerland's even smaller, and Switzerland was hit fairly early on with COVID. They've lost over 3,000 dead, and 300,000 cases, and over 4,500 dead. So I think, despite what we think of politicians, I think they haven't done a bad job here. It'll be people in not my generation, but probably another generation will be paying it all off. We might see GST going up to 15%, land tax being introduced, and maybe even death duties. But nevertheless, I think our politicians, for all their weaknesses, haven't done a bad job at all. With regard to our soldiers, I've served, and I think that they're hitting them pretty hard. And I agree that that report should not have come out in the way it did. I know people who have served in the SAS. We hear about people being stripped of medals, soldiers being stripped of medals. I think it was Edward VII in about 1904 who was absolutely horrified that Victoria Crosses had been stripped from about 7 people for various misdemeanours and crimes. And the statutes of the Victoria Cross were changed so that the Victoria Cross could never be forfeited, no matter what the crime. And I think the comment was that the recipient of the Victoria Cross was entitled to wear it even if he was on the scaffold. So I think it's wrong to race in and talk about removing honours that have been received. I hear Ben Ford talking about medals, but it's not the medal that is being stripped, it's a citation, a small ribbon that's worn over the right pocket. But I think it's wrong. You can't do that. I was a school teacher at one stage of my life. You can't keep the entire school in if 1 or 2 kids have done something wrong. And that's what they're doing. They're punishing the whole of the SAS who have done a tour of duty there over a number of years for the misdemeanours of a few. So I agree with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I see that we've reached the time when we need to finish, and I think we should come to that moment. And I would like to thank you. Well, certainly, I'd like to thank Michael for his contribution and coming here especially. And John,
pleasure.
John, who was here already. And I think it's been a very successful conference, although small. I think we've reaffirmed our support for the existing constitutional system and for the Charter of Australians for Constitutional Monarchy, which is a very broad church indeed. If you read the Charter, you will see that it encompasses all manner of folk, but all with the same wish. So on that point, I would like to say 2 things. Advance Australia fair, and God save the Queen. Thank you.